to share ideas with all of you. I am the Vice President of Creative Development at VRstudios, where I head up the team that creates our world-class attraction content for both our own turnkey systems and for custom content jobs with major companies and partners. But I've been in the video game, immersive media, and emergent technology industries for my whole career, and I've never been as excited about the future as I am today. My complete bio is listed under my name in the speakers page. VRstudios is the leading provider of commercial-grade turnkey VR solutions, systems, technology, and integrated VR attractions that are expressly built for location-based entertainment businesses. We were one of the first players in the LBE VR space and have been delivering commercial, wireless, free-roaming, multiplayer systems to LBE operators around the globe for over 6 years. We also produced and commercialized the first wireless multiplayer turnkey system and content for LBE operators to add VR attractions to complement their existing business. At VRstudios, we have a series of products that range from two-player atoms that can be linked or networked together for even more capacity, to 8-player flex arenas that can be standalone or built into an existing event space for maximum flexibility. We have the largest selection of world-class, exciting titles that are purpose-built for family entertainment centers, or FECs, that cover a wide range of genres and are entertaining across a wide demographic. Additionally, we are the company that all the big guys come to when they need something tremendous. Companies like Universal Studios Orlando, Cedar Fair Entertainment, Knott's Berry Farm, Dave & Buster's, Cineplex, Hirsch & Family Entertainment, 343 Industries, Cartoon Network. And we have done everything from the Dave & Buster's proprietary VR motion simulator platform and custom content for that platform, to systems and custom content for Knott's Berry Farm and Universal Studios Orlando, to a VR attraction for Hirsch Entertainment's traveling Halo Outpost Discovery Show. So in addition to creating our own attractions for our own systems that we sell to operators around the world, we've also created custom content and worked with some of the biggest brands, and most importantly, made those brands shine with super fun games and experiences. But it's not just about amazing content. You have to have an enterprise-class platform that brings everything together. So everything we do is enabled by our unique in the industry attraction management platform, or AMP. AMP knits together the best-in-class software and hardware and makes these systems run smoothly, which is imperative for performance and revenue. AMP is a cloud-based enterprise-class software application that centralizes management, operations, and analytics of commercial LBE VR attractions with ease, and it comes with all of our systems. AMP simplifies operations, provides real-time information about critical systems, detailed analytics, and reports. And it's not just something for our own attractions. We create it to run any and all attractions. So our customers use it to run our own attractions, and they use it to run their own attractions. For instance, AMP operates and manages the Dave & Buster's VR simulator platform, enabling the seamless integration of tech and content to centrally manage and power the attraction, each running multiple unique game titles in nearly every Dave & Buster's locations across the country. From the beginning, we have been invested in creating athletic, highly physical, skill-based games and products. There's been a lot of talk about esports and VR, but we at VRstudios have aimed to make great strides in not only creating a symbiotic relationship between VR and esports, but to bring actual physical sports into virtual reality in a way that can only be done in FECs. Now, we've all heard about the explosion of esports, but what if you could move past esports and offer actual physical sports in VR, with all the immersion of VR and all the athleticism and competition of real sports? And what if you could use the interactive nature of VR to deliver an experience that goes beyond the real world by enabling things that are physically impossible in real life? As we continue to see at-home and out-of-home VR making a strong showing, we can expect every form of competitive framework to appear. What we find most interesting is to look for the unique attributes in VR that cannot be done in any other medium, and certainly the ability to transport players into the physically active, skill-based competition anywhere, which will advance the notion that VR sport is a valid enterprise. VRarcade PowerPlay was our first foray in doing that. With PowerPlay, we were melding truly athletic competitive sports in VR to create a relatable but unique concept that anyone can understand and participate in, but yet is a whole new category of location-based VR entertainment for both players and spectators. Springing from the success of VRarcade PowerPlay, we were approached by Hershen Family Entertainment and Microsoft's 343 Studios to take the coveted Halo video game license and create a VR attraction for their groundbreaking traveling show, Halo Outpost Discovery. Training Grounds was built on top of the VRarcade PowerPlay framework and took this to another level with big IP and stats linked to players' profiles. With Training Grounds, players and fans could physically step inside the Halo universe and battle it out in a full-motion, free-roaming virtual reality experience. It was our aim to enable players to get that awestruck experience as soon as they put on their VR headsets and actually feel what it's like to be immersed in the Halo universe, in particular Valhalla, and then battle it out against their friends in a fast-paced and action-packed competitive combat experience. Casual and hardcore fans alike immediately recognized some of the most iconic elements in the Halo universe, including Spartan characters, plasma pistols, and the beautiful Valhalla environment. The result was an immersive, high-energy VR experience that put players and fans inside of the Halo universe like never before. Here you can see a bit of a Training Grounds match from a proprietary automated spectator mode we developed called Player Zero that's part of all our games. major companies and the press that these games were the first games they experienced where they finally felt comfortable running in VR. As you might imagine, we had the longest lines at the show to play our game. Because in these particular games, you quickly forget that you are in a VR experience and immediately become engaged in the game, moving naturally in all the same ways you would on a real-world playing field. It really is a sport. It is what everyone really wishes esports were: imaginative, physical, and immersive. Two important devices to bring these types of active VR sports experiences to life are spectator engagement and shoutcasting. Spectator engagement is supercharged through the physicality and excitement of the live action play, but also the ability to stream in-game broadcasts through Twitch, Mixer, YouTube, social media to friends. So spectators can enjoy what's going on, whether they're at the FEC or they are in the comfort of their own homes. The ability to view games and tournaments through Twitch, Mixer, YouTube, social media is also a good way to build and grow the community. These are great platforms for creating awareness amongst FEC guests, giving them a chance to learn and understand the game. And specifically with the types of VR active games we at VRstudios are creating, what's really cool is that this awareness shows guests that this is a real thing and that you physically move to play the game. So they think, I can do this and participate in this. It's accessible and approachable. So seeing the choreography of strategy and technique as people run around and compete in active physical play is very thrilling and mesmerizing to viewers. It's like a performance. It helps if the game itself is easy to understand and digest by non-gamers as well. As I just mentioned when talking about training grounds, VRstudios Player Zero functionality enables audiences to spectate. Player Zero is a feature of our built-in game management system that adds additional value outside of the VR experience. It has both an automatic and manual mode for operators or shoutcasters, think live sports commentators, to showcase different cinematic and viewing angles and cool moments from inside the game, so that viewers get various insights to what is unfolding. For guests who want to take home or share highlights from their experience, each play can be recorded as a takeaway or can be streamed. Player Zero also provides VR shoutcasters with the necessary game data to be able to commentate the game experience and comment on individual player performances. Shoutcasting also brings life and energy to these tournaments, or even to day-to-day play at FECs, which can be accomplished by an enthusiastic game operator. The Shoutcaster provides real-time game info, not only to spectators, but to the players themselves. The best Shoutcasters are knowledgeable of the game and are dynamic, enthusiastic, and high energy in order to really bring life to the experience and make players feel like they are on a world stage. Now, shoutcasting is already a huge part of traditional esports tournaments, but we at VRstudios have really tried to extend this to VR sportscasting. Provided with the proper tools, platform, and knowledge of the game and how it works, shoutcasting a VR game is similar to how esports fans would do it with their other games, except that now you have the physical aspect of the player's performances. This is extra cool because you have that additional level of excitement where the shoutcaster can announce the individual players and teams and comment on a player's actual real-world endurance and stamina, along with their dexterity and play and movement style. So now Now we truly have something more akin to sportscasting. Let's go back to VRarcade PowerPlay and see what it looks like while being shoutcasted by an operator and displayed through Player 0.
Michael has grabbed the point. Blue team is starting to get points on the board. Blue team gaining points in their territory. Can Red displace them? Chanel takes out Luis as he tries a charge shot. They're making good use of cover. Chanel takes out Luis. Nicole takes out Michael. Go ahead, move in there, Nicole. Grab that territory. Go ahead and stand in there. Excellent work. Neutralizing the blue territory. It is now neutralized. Nicole's capturing the red territory. Nicole's captured the territory. Points going on the board for red.
I will note that we create training materials and teach LBE operators how to shoutcast and why it's important, as well as how to take advantage of spectatorship and takeaways for their businesses. What this has all been building up to is a line of attractions built on our AMP framework called VRstudios Sports that are designed to turn competitive, real-world, physically active sports into immersive LBE VR attractions. VRstudios Sports embodies competitive, real-world, physically active sports for individual and player versus player competition of skill and fitness. Operators and guests love VRstudios Sports' broad and timely appeal, replayability and excitement, easy to learn physics-based gaming, promotion of social engagement and connections, fitness and health, while at the same time tracking stats and game leaderboards and much, much more. They are purpose-built for LBE so that they are intuitive, accessible, easy to get in and out, but take skill to master. This is the total experience that you get to participate in with friends and family and exist in a different level of community. The first in line of these attractions is Hoops Madness. It is the first true simulation of basketball for FEC VR. Hoops Madness puts you and up to 7 of your friends inside a realistic stadium where you can compete to see who the best shot is through several fun challenges and ultimately determine who will take MVP honors for the match. This is not just another sports video game. This is an actual sport played inside a video game. The intense physical play, fast-paced action, and many thrilling and fun arcade game modes will leave you breathless as you take over the court in a larger-than-life arena surrounded by exhilarating sights and sounds that only the pros get to experience. With all sorts of thrilling and fun arcade game modes that you can't do anywhere else, you'll never want to play in reality again. Think of it as the next evolution of the arcade sports games that FEC guests already know and love, like Pop-A-Shot or 2-Minute Drill, but taking them to a whole new level of excitement that is still as fun to watch as it is to play. So with Hoops Madness and other upcoming sports titles in the VRstudios Sports line of attractions, you will be able to partake in fun challenges and arcadey game modes that just can't be done in a real-world setting. Hoops Madness, we wanted to ensure a highly satisfying and replayable experience, which meant combining strong game design and realistic physics and interactions. To do this, we had to focus nearly exclusively on the game's core loop. Core loops are the single most important part of a game, and is what the whole game is created around. It is the core set of skills or actions that are performed in a game and are practiced in order to get better at a game. So in Hoops Madness, the core loop is shooting the basketball and in various configurations of hoops depending on the game mode. The loop is repeated over and over again within the game. Really well-designed core loops instill a sense of empowerment and satisfaction for players. We worked hard to really refine the core loop, which is shooting the ball. Without satisfying shooting mechanics, the whole thing just falls apart. So a tremendous amount of focus went into creating realistic physics and interactions. This is a huge area where most VR sports games struggle. But it's worth the additional effort to get right, because this is everything in being able to have a successful sports game, which involves physical mechanics that need to feel as good and satisfying or close to the real thing as possible. There is nothing more frustrating with these types of games when this area has not been focused on. Without focus in this area, the game becomes almost unplayable. We then expanded on the core loop with match-based competitive play, a plethora of skill-based game modes, custom operator settings for match customization and therefore maximum flexibility for the FEC, immersive dynamic environments, player achievements in which you can receive points for consistency, trick shots, and game mode bonuses, leaderboards and a framework for tournaments. And we also built an in-game themed 3D tutorial system for ease and efficiency of the attraction operation for FECs. We found that all of those factors were crucial to building player engagement and retention, as well as keeping them challenged, motivated, and more importantly, coming back for more. As I mentioned, we've already made great strides in creating that symbiotic relationship between VR and esports, but we're still not satisfied. We will continue to forge ahead with our new VRstudios sports line of products, which will advance the relationship between VR and esports as VRstudios Sports turns competitive, real-world, physically active sports into individual and player versus player competitions of skill and fitness, with easy-to-learn physics-based gaming and a framework that promotes social connections and supports all the esport functionality needed to grow this incredible community. We have some very exciting plans in place to really revolutionize this space that I dare say will be a slam dunk for FECs. So please stay tuned for some big announcements from VRstudios. One last thing, I'd love to hear from you. So please feel free to reach out to me at chanel@vrstudios.com with any questions. Thanks so much, everybody. It's been a tremendous pleasure. Bye.